Hello. What's up, everybody? We are back with another quarterfinal set here this evening for the 1700 bracket. Jabari joining me for the co-cast. Hello, sir.
Hey man, great to be back.
Yeah, good to have you back. It's been a little while, so good to see you back in the casting booth. But
Yeah, man.
nonetheless, the set this evening: low APM versus and high or low APM, high BMI. What a lovely mouthful. And GDR Mark Landers here. So it will be the set this evening. As far as the maps are concerned, we have low APM picking Nomad Hubs and Battlegrounds, Max Powers or Mark Landers having Flooded Hill and Mont and Bailey, and then we'll have Arena Cove for game number one. We gotta love these maps. Gonna be interesting. The Civs, low APM bans Italians. He chose Lithuanians. They were sniped from him. And then he will have Spanish, Goths, Dravidians, Cumans, Huns, and Vikings. And Mark Landers banned the Mongols, picked the Malians, though they were sniped from him. And he will have Byzantines, Persians, Malay, Saracens, Tatars, and Koreans. Lots of civs, lots of maps. Any initial thoughts there, Jabari?
Without like seeing the map draft and the Civ draft at the same time, it's really hard to assess. There were a couple water maps in there, I believe, and water civs are well represented here. I'm not gonna bullshit it, bro. I got no take here.
I mean, really, it's just Arena Cove and Flooded Hills are the more water dominant maps here. The rest are all land, so we'll have to see how things go. It's interesting to see the Italians and the Mongols ban. Mongols not a big surprise, but Italians not something we've seen much of. But I'm gonna dive into game number one here, and we're gonna go here. Will be Mark Landers here in the yellow with the Byzantines up against low APM here with the Vikings in purple. Interesting matchup. Vikings not being able to go for fire ships. We'll have to go into the galley line. What are your thoughts on that, Jabari?
I think that Byzantines are just extremely favored here. I've probably seen this map played like 20 times, probably even more across all the tournaments. Plus, I practiced it like 50 plus times myself. And fires are the dominant strat, in my opinion. On a couple occasions, we've seen high elo players. I think it's only with Berbers once, honestly, that I've seen somebody successfully pull off the galley play. Um, so yeah, without access to fires and with Byzantines having the best fires, um, I think low APM, high BMI has just completely miscalculated, under prepped in going for this. I look forward to seeing him try, but Mark Landers is probable to win water, and the player who wins water wins the map like 80% of the time.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I'll have to wait and see what happens as far as that's all concerned. Just for Elos, if you guys are wondering, Mark Landers is sitting at 1503, his current all-time peak. Meanwhile, low APM has a 1641 Elo, and he's peaked just over 1700. So, going to be interesting. Obviously, the comment you made about the higher Elo players having a little bit easier time transitioning into the galleys could come into effect. And one thing
Oh
about
man,
the Vikings is that eco can be quite difficult to deal with on the opposite side.
I don't know. The eco is not especially relevant here. It tends to go ultra late if it's not decided by water. And in the ultra late game, again, Byzantines are favored. I favor Byzantines at every phase of this. And I guess the fact that Mark Landers made what I would consider to be the more experienced Civ pick suggests to me that his like prep and study are probably better as well. So I'm pulling real hard for Mark Landers here. I'd bet on him heavily in this game at least.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Mark, we haven't seen as much of. He had admin win for his first round, so a little bit less in the way of scouting on his play. And low APM came up through the bracket pretty well. He's high seed. I think he's seed 5, if I'm not mistaken. Might even be seed 2 or 3. But obviously, we'll have to see how this one shakes out for him. We've seen Vikings a few times on this map, but you're right. We've seen Byzantines far more, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory as to why, but those faster firing fire ships can come hugely in handy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna hemorrhage information while I cast since I'm eliminated from the tournament. But Byzantines, I think, is like the number one civ in the pick order for this map. So, I mean, yeah, and Vikings is, I think, trash tier, but we'll see.
See, I don't think they're that bad. I really don't. I think the extra economy that they can get with wheelbarrow can be quite huge. It will come down to the galley micro though, and what I've been saying the whole tournament here is if the player can manage his galley micro and keep that TC running, they usually have a pretty good chance of taking this one away, as long as they can keep those galleys alive. Always hard to say though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have to be like 2K plus to have a chance of making the galleys work. I mean, the map is just so small. You literally have to micro the galleys nonstop with incredibly high proficiency. You have no leftover APM if you're able to do it at all. Um, yep, I mean,
Yeah,
we'll
I
have
mean,
to wait
it's
and see.
tough. It's tough, right? Lots of possibilities here. Low APM's looking to click up. He just garrisoned everything, didn't quite have it. He's going to end up with it here in a moment. So he'll be up relatively quick. And looks like Mark won't be far behind, just needing to garrison some more food. And if he does so, he'll be up pretty quickly as well. There it is. So about 15 seconds difference. Dock numbers, though, what we're really going to have to pay attention to here.
Yep, and Mark is worrying me a little bit with this build. He's still heavy on food. It looks like low APM, high BMI actually has a much better tuned water build here. So I expect low APM, high BMI to have much better production at the start of Feudal.
Yeah, it will be interesting. The galleys obviously need some numbers to get rolling here. Both players opting to push in some of these ostrich. I know for the most part we see players mill those later on. But for now, looking to be a fairly interesting situation here for both sides. 2 docks here for both it will be to start the feudal age. I don't think either will be able to afford a third without keeping on some production. And it looks like the low APM will go for that third dock. He's not going to be able to produce out of both right away, I don't think, though.
And I also have to give props to low APM, high BMI for pushing an ostrich and not taking it. That's actually like quite crazy. He just killed it and let it decay so that it's available like 1 minute later when it comes time to ship fills to food. His water build is actually really tight. He might have a chance here.
Yeah, the production is only out of 2 docks to start. Feudal Age a little bit slower here for Mark, but it looks like he's producing out of both as well. The eco behind this just a lot more heavy on food here for Mark. He's actually looking to have a fairly nice economy. He does have, no, he has less idle time. So it's an interesting situation here for food. Staying on food didn't
It's
really hurt him as bad as I thought it was going to.
He's not going to get to 3 docks. I mean, he's 2 docks versus 3 fully here. I don't understand it. The fact that this was the last map and neither player's home map suggests that I guess neither of them are specifically prepped for it.
Yep,
Um,
Scout's gonna hustle here, but Mark has the lead, so low APM will run away with that. But you're right, 3 docks is going to outproduce the 2. How long will it be until we see a third? If we see a third, here's the question. A
plus,
blacksmith on the way up can be huge.
early demo is also really smart. I will say low APM, high BMI is doing everything he needs to win alleys versus fires here. As yeah, Mark Landers, he has 500 food in the bank and he's not spending on anything. Total like misplay with his build to be so heavy on food.
I don't know. I don't really dislike it, to be honest. I think he can be okay here. The demo comes in, gets good demo. Galleys aren't being microed back extremely well. So one of them could go down here and does. So, I mean, yeah, he has a little bit of a better exchange there for low APM, but this isn't pushing his opponent off of water. Castle Age
So
could be
the
very quickly incoming for him. It's that food.
Yeah, the only advantage to Mark Lander's build is that he hypothetically could have a much faster castle age. I personally always try to win water in feudal, I mean, they're fighting hard enough that if you don't win water in feudal, you've wasted a ton of resource.
Yeah, I mean it's a decision call though. I mean, obviously we've seen it work before for other people. We see a farm mill for Mark here going out to the Ostrich, but he's not really relying fully on the food income here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a market, and yep, there it is. He's gonna try to click up to the next stage faster.
I like it. I mean, he's got to make use of that food. Once he upgrades to Castle Age fire ships, I mean, the galleys do one damage per volley and go down very quickly. I mean, when you have this much food in the bank, you got to just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the docks are going to be under some severe pressure here, but I think that there's not going to be enough galley numbers to take out many docks. So he could just garrison the rest of these fires, stop production until he gets to the next stage here.
Well, at this point, he's definitely committed to a fast age up as his strat as he works the market to achieve it.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like the strategy. I think that Mark is getting a lot of farms down now, but he's not going to be up for another couple minutes here. And though the galley numbers are going to be up there, he can just garrison all these fires and wait for his upgrades. And he should be fine.
Let's see it. This is very unusual to go as a sort of FC on this map while still fighting water.
He's going to have to save some numbers here. He will have a lot of HP on these docks, all things considered. They are Byzantine docks, a lot more. Second most HP on any dock other than Persians. We'll need to repair one potentially, but he's going to run a fire out and try to snipe some fish, as it looks like we have had a few fish added here. Population-wise, things are ahead for Mark. Or sorry, for low APM. And he clicks up as well, not all that far behind.
I mean, this will be interesting. If low APM can guard his numbers until he also gets the Castle Age upgrades, this should be a pretty easy win for the galley player. Mark's really going to have to capitalize on his timing advantage here.
Yeah, the numbers game will be coming to effect, though. A lot of HP gone off a lot of these, though, so it might be difficult. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but upgrades are coming in.
Yep, this is the moment. He really should be moving across the map. This is way too passive.
I think waiting for that upgrade might not be the worst thing, though. He is outnumbered. And we're getting a lot of repairs in on these galleys, which is quite nice here, but they are blocked into such a tight space that could be really rough. Careening coming in as well, that's a nice upgrade here. We'll see demos being added, though. Quite a few of them as well.
Yep, and this is Mark Landers' moment here. Do not focus the docks. You have to engage the galleys.
And he's going to kill the fish, though. Actually, I don't know if I mind the dock focus, to be honest. He kills 5 eco units. He's going to start taking docks out pretty quickly. And the upgrade, the Castle Age isn't in yet, so I don't really mind this. He's already lost all of his fishing, so he's not really going to see many more ships if he's taking out docks, right?
If the docks are actually eliminated, then I'm fine with this. But, I mean, I don't know. When you have a tech advantage, it's nice to go army versus army.
It is, but I think this is actually a decent idea here, and the faster firing Byzantine ships will get work done. One dock already fallen, a Vil even taken out here, and a couple demos have popped, but he didn't wait for the upgrade, so he didn't really get the damage in that he would have wanted. The War Galley upgrade does finish. Villager down, 2 docks down.
Yeah,
Military's
okay.
even.
I love Mark Landers' position now. I mean, he's, down 2 docks. Almost about to lose his third of 4. The fires can almost just patrol in, honestly.
And they've already closed the gap because Mark has just patrolled them like you suggested, and all the numbers are going away, and another Vil dies trying to get a dock up here.
I'd say Mark has won water. A lot of players would resign almost at this point. Low APM, high BMI, though, given the score, given the fact that he knows he's like the higher elo player, is probably not going to be so quick to resign. But this is like a really uncomfortable decision point to be at as low APM, high BMI. Like, yeah, you have to give up on water. I guess you just pivot to full land. And you're going to play the rest of the game with a big disadvantage. You're not going to be able to fish. You're going to be susceptible to transports. In the Imperial Age, you're going to get hit by cannon galleons. Like,
Gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Viking eco though, so he will be able to survive for the time being. Looks like he's probably gonna head out here for a town center. So he'll have 3 town centers here shortly, 2-1. The eco position is even, and we are going to see the fishing ships added behind this, as well as wheelbarrow coming in. Couple war galleys left.
I was gonna say, good job by Mark to not add like a single military unit on water after he'd already won. Just like switching fully into fishing ships, taking the maximum advantage of winning water without overinvesting anything.
I agree. His eco upgrades are coming in at a very nice time. Fishing ship numbers are going to be up to 5 here shortly, so he is trying to maintain his eco population. He has a scout patrolling forward here, which is nice, and actually the scout did go down somewhere for low APM, so take a quick look at the scouting here. Obviously can't see behind the walls much, but good scouting elsewhere, good vision here for Mark. And then on the opposite side, we see, well, the scout does go down. We see very little as far as what's going on around the map here. He does have good vision, finding some extra resources, but the fires are all over the place. And I think, is this villager maybe coming forward for a wall or something here? Could be found out if it's not being carefully guarded, and it's not looking good here.
No, not at all. Especially with the late game matchup. I mean, I feel like Byzantines can just go for like some skirm and hand cannon, bombard cannon, and Vikings. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not like hyper familiar with the matchup, but Vikings feel like a really bad draw for the late game land battle.
Yeah, I mean the situation I think comes down to the fact that there will be no bombard cannons for the Viking player. That is always difficult. He'll have to guard his trebs carefully, and if the Byzantine player gets up, he will have access to those. So, makes things a little more difficult. The
Indeed.
patience on these
I
war
hope.
galleys got a kill on a fishing ship. But that's all, just one.
Yep, and he's got no docks. These are the last of his navy. All right, well, I guess we settle in for a long game here. When players choose to take it long on this map, it goes long. Yeah, I don't see this ending anytime soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough for low APM though. He is 3 TCs and only 8 villagers ahead here. He's looking to click to the Imperial Age, but Mark right behind him here in that endeavor with the 2 TCs right now, adding in the university here. And potentially another villager gonna go down.
So he's going fast imp into land play, I guess. It's not even that fast, though. Mark is close behind him. Mark's done a very... Mark is actually behind in economy. Mark's build and macro leave a little bit to be desired, I'll say.
I think it's not that bad, though, because he had to fight so much on water here. He did go to the second TC. He has the better eco upgrades, or did earlier. Not anymore. And he will click imp not too far behind here. Don't mind this. He still has all water control. Fishing ship numbers have grown a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but don't mind this at all. And we see this villager still fighting for its life here. Lions trying to help out Mark here. As the Ville will be walled in.
Nice quick walls, but it's really not too threatening in the end.
Another town center behind the walls here is what he's going for. It's going to be interesting. We could see a transport. We could see some sort of forward castle. I have a monk here. Gonna try to get a conversion on water. Could just be a ploy to push him away to get back onto water.
I'm kind of surprised at the lack of upgrades coming in for either player. Like, I'm trying to figure out what military they're going to open, and they've literally done nothing. Neither of them have done any blacksmith upgrades besides the two the low APM got. He was fighting for water.
Yeah, I wonder if you saw this though, because you saw a bunch of vills, and it will be a ton of archery ranges coming down here. 7 archery ranges being dropped. We already have the armor upgrades coming in. Botkin arrow already researched, so going into Arbaleth, not my favorite move here against the Byzantines, but when you really have limited military options against Byzantines, I think that it could be fine, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
I I like the hard commitment. Like I was saying, I don't know what Vikings can go for here. The Byzantines doesn't counter hard. But if you really commit to something and you show up early with a large, fully upgraded army, Mark might not have the time to pivot into the correct counter.
Yeah, forward castle's gonna be. Oh, does that house block it? It does not. This will be seen though, and he could drop his own castle. And they're both an imp, so we'll see if where he puts it.
That castle is like super ripe for the picking once the cannon galleons come out, I gotta say.
Yeah, and although the eco upgrades are coming in here for all the ARB switch, I'm not a huge fan still with the position.
I mean, your Arbs against Byzantines, while the Byzantine player is like kind of floating the perfect resources for Skirm. It was going to be a long shot for low APM, high BMI ever since he lost the water. He's doing it, man. He's macroing cleanly. He's committing hard to an army. He has a forward castle. He'll have a good push here.
And he is going to be ahead, obviously with the eco. It's not as far ahead as I thought it was going to be, to be honest. But fletching already in. We're seeing archery ranges come down, so that was some siege workshops, probably going for bombard cannons, maybe for the cannon galleon play as well. He does have a lot of land control right now, so there's a lot of resources on the land here. Obviously the island's not the most efficient, but we have some transports being added here, so maybe we're going to see a transport of some kind.
Yep, the Rams for low APM are going to be absolutely prime. Yeah.
Cataphract being added. I don't know if that's just for a scout or what, but he's garrisoned it. Elite
I mean,
skirm.
honestly, the few Cataphracts will be huge once the Rams come out.
He's going to go forward here with some villagers, I think, though.
An interesting transport.
Trebs, no rams yet, but bombard cannons. There's a redock here, and we'll see longboats in production. Where are these vills going? Are they going over here? Very strange way to take those, but see what happens here. Elite skirms have been created, and upgrades are flying in for those. It'll be really interesting to see if the ARB Ram push will do good against the, Skirm, Cataphract, Bombard Cannon mixture we're gonna have. And we have a forward stable here from Mark Landers.
Very random.
Going into light cap, so he just wants to try to raid with that unit for now.
Yeah, I think it would have been juicier to raid behind the walls rather than like around the ranges. But he's creating a little chaos. I'm always for some forward stables for raiding.
It's going to be interesting. I would have liked to have seen a few galleys added here behind this as well. Longboats will come in, and we'll see a transport. We'll find some damage here. Bombard cannons doing some work. Rams are being produced. Only 3 cataphracts here, though. Defensive castle. Arb searching for these vills. We'll find them here. And that will probably deal with all of those. Surprised we haven't seen a cannon galleon yet here, to be honest.
There's just so much going on. I'm sure that as soon as the thought occurs to him, he'll add one. It would get so much value.
Lot of siege here. This could be difficult to defend with just skirms and a few cataphracts. I think they're pulling back for now, though.
Very interesting. He's pulling back the Rams. He's not ready for action with those just yet.
Skirmishers will kill some vills here if they're not moving away.
He just wants better ARB numbers to accompany them.
And the Arbs will lose some numbers trying to kill the bombard cannon, unable to do so. Ballistics now coming in here for Mark, which is nice. But here comes the siege now. Where'd the cataphracts go? Oh, they're back here. So this is being seen. Bombard cannon will go down. I don't think there's enough Arbs here, though. If he focuses the Arbs down, this bush dies. The cataphracts.
Yeah, he just has no good support for the ARBs. I guess the Rams make it a little inconvenient, but still there's nothing that kills the skirms here.
A lot of Arbs coming forward, though, so we'll see if they can survive long enough, maybe take this castle out in the process. More cataphracts being added, though, and the Trebs are going to start to go down here. There's a bombard cannon, some good hits there. All the Trebs are going to go down. The Rams, though, will there be enough number to deal with this? The villagers fighting them as well.
Should be enough to take down the castle, but I don't know if it's worth the loss of all those Rams. I did just see also that the Vikings' unique tech came in, so that actually will make the archers +1 damage, make them slightly more effective versus the skirms.
The castle does survive, so it was a big investment. And low APM calls the GG.
I mean, given the Civ matchup and everything, it wasn't going to get any better for him. A timely GG. I actually appreciate that very much. He probably could have clung to life for another hour.
I think he could have too, for sure. He was in a good position. I think maybe he just thought that was his big push. He was cleaning up the raids, so very interesting decision there. But GGs do come in. Let's update the draft here. We saw a Viking loss to a Byzantine victory. It was Mark Lander's first pick versus low APM's last pick. So maybe this is a map that low APM decided he was just going to try his best and potentially move on. We will go to one of his home maps now. It will be either Battlegrounds or Nomad Hubs. Interesting game one.
Indeed. Give me a little credit for calling the approximate way in which it would play out.
Fair enough. Well done. Game number 2, guys. We're diving in quick. We have Battlegrounds here. Low APM will play with the Huns, and then we will see Mark Landers here with the Tatars. So, a very, very Cav Archer heavy Civ selection for both players. Tatars, I probably like a little bit better, just because I think their bonuses kind of fit this map a slightly better. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't really play Cav Archers myself, even though I know they are kind of the established meta here. I definitely don't have experience firsthand going Cav Archer v Cav Archer with these two civs. My initial thought was actually Huns. Like, the hill bonus can be avoided. Free thumb ring be negated by getting your own thumb ring. And in the end, I mean, I guess it's probably been rebalanced a bit over the years. But I've always just been very impressed by the Huns discount.
Yeah, I mean the discount is very nice, but I think with the potential swings here, with the free upgrades that come in, that can be quite difficult to compete with. Additionally, I like that the herdables give extra food for the Tatar player here, so it really helps spiral that bonus onto scouts, of course, which I believe both players will open here. But yeah, the hill bonus not as problematic to deal with here. We'll have to wait and see though. Low APM going deep for a wood line here. He's going to wall in his vills for the most part. Just with that lumber camp, which is nice.
Oh yeah, that's an ideal lumber camp.
Pushing in a deer from the center very quickly here as well. So, I mean, all things considered, he's going to have an interesting position. Oh, he forgot to build the lumber camp. There it goes. That's a bit awkward. But fortunately, he doesn't need houses, so it doesn't really affect him as badly here.
Indeed.
Our
And I'm a
Tatar.
little bit surprised that neither player went out earlier to collect the sheep. Mark Lander is kind of getting a gift here, still claiming so many sheep, or at least looks like he's going to, despite not really going out too quickly for him.
Yeah, low APM has stuck at home. Those deer he actually pushed were his two starting deer, I guess. And there's going to be quite a few of these herdables left in the middle of the map. Every single one claimed just a little bit extra food here for the Tatars. So, going to be interesting. I mean, Cav Archers, I do enjoy playing. I don't play them a ton, just because the current map pool and the meta of what I've been playing just doesn't involve Cav Archers for the most part, but I think they can be a lot of fun. A lot of mobility, and obviously hitting and running cavalry units can be a lot of fun.
Yep, I mean, like ranged unit with fast speed, I guess should be fun, but for whatever reason, I never got into them. I'm just like a straight crossbow guy.
Yeah, it is surprising. You would think this would be right next step for you, but maybe in the future, I suppose.
Nah, dude, I'll go down with the crossbows.
Fair enough, fair enough. As far as the map is concerned, we've seen a lot of games on this map. Surprisingly, a lot of games ending earlier than I would have anticipated, to be honest. It's been quite interesting. Uh,
I mean, isn't the whole point of the map to be feudal focused? Is it really surprising that a lot of games end early?
well, I'm saying they've gone late. Like, a lot
Oh.
of games have gone late. Maybe I misspoke. But it's been interesting to watch the development on this map. And I think the last, like, 3 or 4 games I casted here, we went into the Imperial Age. So, always interesting. Dry Lake has been very early, I think, too, and it's been later in the later rounds of this, going into the later ages. So some good matches on both here. For those who are watching that don't know, this used to be the #1 map for every set until this current iteration of the tournament, and I think it's a lot better the way we have the draft system set up now. I don't know, Jabari, you've played in the tournaments all the way through. What do you think about the draft at this current state?
I like it. I think it's cool to not have a fixed game one map. I do have my critiques about the whole tournament format. I will be advocating for a group stage for sure, man. The next 1v1 tournament.
A group stage. So I thought it was a double limb is what you wanted.
Double a limb, I guess, would also work, but a group stage, I mean, they serve the same purpose, which is preventing what happened to me from happening to people. Where, I mean, it's a huge map pool. I prepped a lot. I went out after 2 games, you know. It'd be one thing if it was like an Arabia arena tournament or something like that, and you didn't do specific prep. But it's just brutal to like prep maps that are only played in a specific tournament and not see a whole lot of games, you know.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be a double limb though. A group stage, there's just too many
You don't
players
have
that
to
would have
cast
to
every
go.
game, bro.
I know.
I've
I'm
played
not
1v1
saying
tournaments.
I'm not saying for that, but the group stage with 32 participants is going to be a very large number of games.
There's other formats too. You could do a Swiss with a top 8 or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's difficult to try to include everyone is the problem with those formats. I feel like double limb's a
I
little
feel like a
easier.
Swiss, dude, a Swiss with the top 8 would be epic, if you know what a Swiss is.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen it done with the Nilly's cups and all that. But I don't know, for an amateur tournament, it just seems like it limits the player number that I can have participate. That's the issue I have with them. Not
I
opposed.
completely don't see how it limits the player number.
Well, if we do a Swiss system, it's what, 16, I think?
No, Swiss is an arbitrarily large field, and after each round, you play the player who has like a similar record to you. So the players who are 2-0 play against each other, and so on. And then after, everybody plays 6 rounds or something like that. And then after 6 rounds, you just look at people's records and you pick the top 8.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well,
We can talk about this more off screen. Yeah.
if you want to run some more admin on that, I would be more willing to walk into that system.
All right. Well, that's probably at least 3 tournaments down the road. We don't need to worry about it right now. But like this single limb thing, bro, I'm gonna really fight against it next time.
Fair enough. Well, we'll talk about it more later, like you said. But appreciate the feedback. Appreciate the feedback. We'll just see how things progress. Obviously, the game in front of us here, even across the board right now. 0 kills on the map, and we see a full wall up here. At least it looks
Big
like a
TC
full
idle
wall.
time for low APM though. A couple bills worth actually.
Yeah, and he's not walled. He's gonna wall up the wood line as he expects the scouts are coming in. It's like oh no. Okay, just at the last second gets that one up. I think there's a hole over here maybe, or not, I don't know. It's very tough though. These scouts do extra damage here, so he's going to have to repair. The spear will come over, and he's gonna push this away for the time being now. As the scouts are going forward on the other side, but military there to defend.
Yeah, very nice control by both players. Impressive that they're both taking food out in the middle without taking any losses. I do like Mark's play a bit more though. Cleaner on the build, hitting the enemy at home as well, fully walled himself.
Hmm More military on the map here. The farming eco is quite heavy for low APM. He does have horse collar though, so those farms will last for quite a bit. No horse collar yet here for Mark, and he's going to have what, 1 deer left on this? Yeah, he's taking his last deer here, so we'll have to see how that shakes out. The scout numbers are headed back again though, looking to do damage.
Yep, and that wood is just holy moly, man.
Oh, there's a hole.
Yeah, this is gonna be brutal.
And he's gonna fight it. So we've already seen 1 go down. There will be at least 2 more, it looks like. And the Eco
Yeah.
KD is gonna start to spiral here. Oof. Tough break there. Scouts getting 4 kills on the villagers there.
Yep, that's not enough to decide the game, but it's a nice advantage for this phase.
Yeah, and now the Eco lead is 34 to 29. And we do see low APM shifting on to gold. Production of scouts is still heavy for both players. No, not so much here for Mark. So maybe Mark planning to just go up to the next stage here. Looks like he's brought the other 2 vills home. Another few vills. Nope, they're on the berries still with some spear defense. Okay. Low APM.
Yep, I mean, Mark kind of threw his army there in exchange for eco damage. Assuming that he doesn't want to keep on committing to scouts, he's got to be thinking Castle Age.
Yeah, I agree. We can tell that low APM's not. He gets his first armor upgrade on these. Now, there is the potential for him to run past the town center here, and he could find quite a bit of damage, but he will take some damage on the way in, but we'll see what he's thinking. He's also getting town watch right now, which is interesting. We have a scout in the back of the base here just trying to harass. Mark.
Some deep feudal commitment from low APM. Town Watch totally not going to do anything here, as Mark is kind of not coming at him whatsoever. Low APM does have a good opportunity, though, in running past the TC. It would be worth it big time to do so.
Yeah, he's going to be up to the Castle Age. He's coming in, but it gets spotted. House will block that from happening. And we're seeing the first archery range come down here for Mark. So he likely will go into Cav Archers here. But we'll see a second stable for low APM who will need that stable. Oh, he's got a blacksmith stable already, so he will be fine. But should be clicking up the Castle Age here shortly himself.
Yep, everything is smooth as butter here for Mark. Eco damage and feudal, no idle TC, transitioning smoothly to CA. Didn't invest in any upgrades for those scout cavalry. I guess bloodlines would ultimately be useful. But yeah, Mark Lander's extremely smooth game plan here in every beat.
He's actually adding another stable as well. Did he scout the front here. No, he's looking for that now, seeing what his opponent's going for. We'll see the second stable. So adding that second stable was his own decision, of course, but he has seen that his opponent is looking to go into that as well. Do you think opening camels potentially here for Mark?
I mean, my first thought was just looking at his resources. Maybe he like didn't anticipate his eco balance, and he's seeing that he has an opportunity to pop out. Yeah, 2 stables across camels at the opening here. This is really nice. Camels will shred the scout cav. Will do really well once like knights or cav archers come out.
Yep, husbandry and bloodlines already going for another eco upgrade with Bullsaw here. And behind this, the eco looks good for low APM, but I think he's going to go into a unit that ultimately will end up being encountered here. Might have to rethink his plan, and he will be going to infantry armor, so gonna go pikemen, I guess.
Oh boy, those are going to get eaten alive by cavalry archers.
Yeah, no cav archers yet, but I think as soon as the pikeman upgrade is seen, it will be a situation where he'll pay attention what his opponent's going for. Second TC at home for low APM. Meanwhile, the town center in the middle of the map here for Mark on the gold.
I'm always a fan of going out to the mid early. I mean, it always turns into a fight for mid, so establishing a foothold there is really nice. Yeah, the many pikes or spearmen have shown themselves. Parklanders, I'm sure, will be adding the cav archers shortly.
Yeah, villager lead still there for Mark after that dive earlier. And we'll see a third town center in the middle as well. So he's going to go 3 TCs. Likely not going to be adding too much more military here for the time being. Those knights going to come out, though, could potentially find that town center. Will he see it is the question. Pikeman upgrade is completed. We have only 4 of them on the map, though.
I mean, defensive play when you're behind and it seems like you're going for a countered unit, it really is looking rough for low APM here. I don't see a long-term game plan for him.
I mean, he is going to try to come in. He's got the light cav upgrade, so he's going to try to do some damage. This hasn't been realized yet. This could get in. This could be problematic. And now he sends the camel. More camels will come to defend this. And he's going to have to wall up or run vills here. There's a lot of potential eco damage to be done.
Yep, this is actually like really good value for these scout calves. Maybe not. They're actually like kind of melting.
Yeah, I don't think he's spread them out enough. The knights are going to come in here as well. But again, cav archers and camels will defend from this position. Can they even get a kill? The Eco KD for that raid was only 1, and the camels and cav archer will deal with these knights as well.
Yep, it's looking great for Mark. He's up 3 TCs to 2. He's going for the better military choice. He has better map control. He has more military numbers on the field. It looks like the Siege Workshop can't be denied. No.
Yeah, he's getting lucky, not going to lose that cav archer there, and he's going to garrison the town center and try to fight underneath of it. We'll see some siege for both players here, but 3 TCs to 2, and a better military number, as we'll see a cav archer thrown away there. But it's going to be difficult here for low APM to continue this push for very long, as I think the eco numbers are kind of even at the moment, but very...
Yep, low APM's only hope here is some sick Mangonel trades. I mean, I guess Mangonel Pikeman has the potential to win this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad situation. He's able to be in a decent spot economically with this, but I don't know. The cav archer production should continue. Mark just sold a bunch of stone, or sorry, not stone, wood. So interesting. Mangonel will pop out here shortly. This town center is going to be able to range this. Only fletching right now, though. Mangonel's pop. Oh, and a 1
Oh,
for
that is
0
huge.
here.
Yeah. Ooh, that is really bad for low APM. Like, literally his only hope is favorable Mangonel trades.
Yep, and now he'll have to be investing into another one. He did get a few villager kills there to equal out the, sorry, not equal out, to make the villager count become equal. But again, there's no map control in the middle here, really, minus an archery range and some pikemen. Mangonel about to pop, though.
Yeah, as low APM just queues more knights. When you're queuing, a few knights into a mass of camels, you know you're in trouble. I'm sure the score is also a bit discouraging. As okay, that's a good Mangonel trade at least for low APM.
Yeah, and now the raids are coming in, though, and the wood lines will have to be abandoned. More villagers will go down here, and pretty quickly. Eco's just a mess now behind this. He does have a forward, but oh, he's walked under the town center here. Not going to lose any pikemen, surprisingly. But villagers in the back going down still here. Not a lot of them, but a ton of idle villas at this point.
Yeah, I mean this is huge eco damage. Surprisingly, the Vil count and the military count are about even. I don't know if it's actually worth the camels he's lost here.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he is idling a ton of vills, though. He's got 23 idle vills at the moment, and the Eco KD is now 11 to 4. The pikemen are going to come back. It looks like Mangonel was taken out here. We missed that, but somehow that Mangonel was taken down. There's really no push here for low APM. He has a ton of gold floating as well. A lot of stone for Mark, though. So potentially going to see a castle here shortly. And the Cav Archer number is only 2, so we really haven't seen many Cav Archers be prioritized. I guess it's still only 1 range production here.
I mean, I think Camel just like does well versus every single unit the Huns can produce. Cav Archers have a few counters that could easily pop out, be them Scorpions, Skirms, Tarkins even.
Yeah, and there's going to be a wall off here. That castle will ideally go up. We're going to see a Mangonel and a Scorpion pop out here as well. Low APM has tons of gold, and we'll have to see what he does with it, but the Siege Workshop will be made quick work of here, it looks like. As that Scorpion's going to try to get some damage in, push away the pikemen.
Yep, really strong showing by Mark here as he looks like he's about to click Imp up. Low APM just calls it.
And low APM calls it here again. Just not happy with his position, thinking he's going to be losing the game, it looks like.
Yep, and I'm sure we'll be seeing Spanish on Nomad Hubs for his game 3. I believe those are like, yeah, top picks for him. When you're the favorite and you're down 2-0, I mean, I'm sure that he's not feeling too distraught. Honestly, like it's felt close in power level in both games. It doesn't feel like a domination.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting time to call it, but yeah, I mean, like you said, if he feels like he's out of it and doesn't want to continue with the game, I mean, he's not doing it. I mean, going into Pikeman, not your ideal situation with everything going on against the
Well, he
Tatars.
took that big feudal eco damage. I guess that just was the breaking point.
I agree. Game 3, we're loading in, guys. We'll be on Nomad Hubs here. We'll have to wait and see how everyone spreads out, but for the time being, Mark has a 2-0 lead. And Town Center dropped very quickly here for Mark with the Koreans on a mineral hub here. We'll have some deer and some hunt nearby, of course. Then meanwhile, all the way over here, we'll see a very awkward Town Center position. Kind of just in the middle of a node of wood between two node wood. Very
That
little
is
food
a
here.
Yeah, that's a really poor TC. Mark has like actually had incredible, I don't want to call it prep exclusively because this TC placement's slightly luck. But his Civ choices, the way he's played every map, it seems like he really means business and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how everything works out here, obviously, but Spanish still probably the preferred Civ, but
I don't know, dude. I
Koreans
think they,
nowadays have quite the wood discount on military units, and
yeah,
towers always an issue.
I'd prefer Koreans here. I think they nerfed the Spanish building on the initial TC, which was like one of the big reasons they were, enjoyed so much on this map. And Koreans are inclined to go archers, which counter the conks. Um,
Hmm.
War wagons also counter the conks. It's not like one of those matchups where conks can be expected to just run everything. And yeah, this TC placement favors Mark so much. I think we might be looking at an underdog 3-0 here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it is rough. It's going to be difficult, obviously, to come back from a 2-game down situation, but we have seen a reverse sweep before. Can never count someone out. And to be fair, low APM has used his bottom 2 Civ selections, so could always make a comeback with his Civs, which he should be favoring a little bit more, I would think. Surprising he hasn't gone for those, to be honest.
I mean, this nomad start is just going to be tough. I guess he's found sheep. He's got a boar. He might be able to avoid idle TC time, but his food is going to be tough.
Yeah, he's gonna have a little bit. Nope, just a second, I guess, so far. Yeah, it will be difficult, and obviously with his map here, I mean the wood won't run out forever. 250 per tree on the Nomad hub here. Has a little bit of gold here. There is some hunt and berries around. Food hub all the way over here. Take a quick look at his scouting, see what he saw before placing this town center. Really not the greatest position for him to start here, but we'll see what happens here. He's going for Loom now as he's just having trouble with food, obviously. He's going to send some villagers out down here to the mill. Should be fairly happy with that position. Meanwhile, the hunt still quite good here for Mark.
Yep, that's nice, Mel. Low APM is salvaging the situation pretty well. I mean, they say that Nomad maps have much more luck than any other maps due to the, non-standard distribution of resources around the TC.
Hmm.
But low APM has handled this unfortunate circumstance pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, he's gonna be all right. You got another boar coming in from somewhere in the north here. I didn't even see that one coming in, but he manages to get it in here just fine. And all things considered, he's not behind by a whole lot. Just a little bit of a Vil production area with a little bit more idle TC time. The food here will be difficult for Marcus. He will move out for a mill after he took all this hunt here. We'll send quite a few vills, it looks like, over here to that mill. There's some hunt. He's found another sheep or two. There's a boar over there as well. Should be fine in the long term. Wood for him will be more difficult to secure all these small wood lines up here. We do have a sheep scout for low APM, so he's looking to find his opponent. And going out to another mill.
Yep. And are you thinking either of these players will be inclined at all to play Feudal Age, or do you think we'll just be looking at some FCs here?
It's difficult. I think Feudal Age has its advantages if you can do damage, but not knowing where your opponent is can always be an issue. I think we have we've seen the mill here for low APM, so he has an idea his opponent is in the north. So that could affect his decision here. And we shift to the opposite side, and we have yet to find the opponent here for Mark, as he sends a lot more vills to food. Hasn't clicked up yet. Both players, they're going to click up for a fast castle. Going to have another 4 or 5 vills out, most likely. But we'll see. Stone villagers here for the Spanish already, so we all know what
Yep.
that is leading up to see if that is actually the case. Ooh, and low APM housed here at 20 pop, so he will have a little bit more idle TC time.
And both players looking like they're going FC. The stone is a dead giveaway that he's going to go FC castle, and the two vills on gold is most likely for a fast castle as well. If you do want to fight feudal here, you would probably go scouts, not archers.
I agree, yeah. Especially given the distance, not knowing where your opponent is. Villager survives here, but barely. And 23 pop up here, but there'll be a lot of food coming in. All these villas already holding 300 food almost. I think he'll be short on the food a little bit, though, still. He's going to bring in another boar, though. That will definitely help.
I think he's good. That food hub has more than enough bounty for the castle age.
Let me see another scout coming in here. Interesting, though. Where's low APM on gold? He's going to be down here. Alright, so he does have his gold, but it's going to be one in the back. Surprised he hasn't gone for this one over here, but this one a little bit safer, so can't blame him. He will click up at 24 pop, and he'll be bringing that boar in under his town center. Gonna be interesting. I still don't know if he's gonna have the food to click up right away. Obviously gonna need the market and the blacksmith here. 23
Mark
pop fast castle feels a little bit tighter, obviously. But I don't know, what do you think? On a nomad start,
Mark's build is crazy tight here. I'm like actually really impressed. Precisely as much wood as he needs, and I think he has precisely the food he needs. 23ville fast castle on a bizarre nomad variant is really awesome.
he's gonna be a little bit late on that house, so maybe he'll have to produce another Vil. But all things considered, he will be up. I think he'll still be up before low APM here.
Oh, for sure. And low APM's going to go for Conks versus Koreans. Feels pretty bad. Mark notably is not going for his own stone, so I guess he'll be going for some sort of boom play. But literally any army the Koreans are incentivized to go for will do very well versus the Conks.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's just gonna be archers, maybe adding some monks in here or there to defend. TCs still could be an option, of course, but
Yeah, some military would be nice. It's best to not be totally unarmed versus Conks.
and are we not gonna have the food here for low APM? So he will be selling some stone and buying some food, and we'll be up that way. So his build not as clean here. Questioned how Mark's build was looking, but he had the cleaner build, I guess. I haven't to
Yep, and
sell
he's done the
anything.
hard pivot to stone. He's actually going to drop his own castle. I dig it. War wagons are sick.
Ooh, is he though? He's gonna drop some stone walls. I kind of like this. He could actually stone wall up this whole side for himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long time coming, but the stone walls are a worthwhile long-term investment for sure.
I don't mind that at all, actually. I mean, obviously, it is, like you said, a long-term investment, but if he can wall this up here, even if he... Let's see what his vision looks like before we take too many estimations. But, yeah, he sees a lot of wood lines, so he could definitely just wall up in between the wood lines here and secure all this space. It would make this golden stone pretty safe, well as secure a few wood lines for him. He will drop a town center, though, potentially. He's sending Vils forward.
Yeah, I think it's town centers behind walls. Oh, he's prepping the castle. He wants a forward castle, it seems. No, that's just insane.
Ah, he's gonna put it here. 3 villagers. His opponent's not up yet. Hasn't seen military. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
I think it's an incredibly bizarre castle. It's in no man's land.
Yeah, I would have preferred it closer to the town center, for sure. But, I mean, maybe he's just gonna try to wall, and he is. He's gonna wall up to the castle.
So he's walling up this entire edge of the map, basically. I don't mind it. It's unusual. It is unusual, but I guess with the cleanness of his build, he'll have the leeway to pull it off.
Yeah, and he's walling up everything to the castle here. So, I mean, if there's conks that are clicked forward and these walls are all going to be up, potentially, I mean, low APM could find 0 value, but he is going to add a second town center behind this for himself as the conquistadors are being produced.
Definitely does not have the food eco for Conquistadors plus 2 TCs, but I mean, your game plan is Spanish. It has to be to squeeze out a few conks early no matter what. Like 2 or 3 conks have the potential to do so much damage.
And this town center here is pretty heavy on food, so I think he'll be in an okay position there. And a second town center behind this for Mark as well. The conks, though, looks like they're potentially going to find their way in. There's one war wagon here in defense, though.
Yeah, I think the War Wagon defends it really well.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to snipe the Vil, I think, and he's just going to try to run past, actually. I think that's the right move. Obviously, it's not great. He will lose a lot of HP on these. Potentially could get another kill or 2, but instead he just takes out a couple sheep.
Kind of interesting how those sheep went out. It seemed like the shot missed and hit the other sheep.
Yeah, it took both of them out there. It's very awkward. The accuracy on these conks makes them very difficult sometimes, but he's gonna get a 1 Vil kill, is it? Looks like. This one should be tracked down here, and it is. And the stone walls are all but complete. We do have a forward villager with an outpost here. But otherwise, there's really not many more ways for him to be able to do any damage here. Does have another conquistador in production.
Yep, that was really well defended. I mean, War Wagons kind of beat conks one-on-one, so this is like a pretty favorable situation for the Koreans.
Oh, there's a hole.
Yeah, I saw that before. When you wall this big, there's always a risk of this. You got to click out, but players make this mistake at all levels, so I'm not gonna criticize him too much for it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with the conquistadors not being able to produce super quickly. Obviously, like you said, not the greatest food eco behind this. And this will all be found out over here. Let's see if there's any chance this gets walled up, but potentially gonna try to find the forward Vil, I guess. I don't know, it's interesting. 2 TCs to 2 TCs, 1 castle production for each, but these war wagons, 150 HP, 9 attack compared to 55 HP, 16 attack.
It's like honestly one of the most OP units in the game. It's pretty much countered only by monks in low numbers and like onagers and skirms. But even onagers and skirms don't counter it that hard. I don't know. I think it's possibly one of the most OP unique units in the game.
Yeah, it's just super expensive, so as soon as you can get a massive, then it's really difficult to deal with. The base will have been located as he's just going to dive under the town center at the moment. Like he's not knowing where this
the
is.
monastery would have been huge. These things don't take TC damage.
Yeah, I mean, especially with no upgrades on them. He's just going to run back, and this is going to really mess the eco up here. He's going to have to run a bunch of Vils. Already has 17 idle Vils, plus 9 more running. Third town center being added. And, oh, the conks do find their way in, so he should realize there's a hole. Can they get some damage in? Looks like they should get 1 Vil. War wagons, though, already responding. Same as the war wagons in the back.
5-0 KD around the 50 Vil point is huge.
Yeah, it is. And he's got the lead economically for sure. But his eco is under threat here and has been very idled. So the villager lead is great, but if it can't do much in the way of damage, as he's going to pick off some units down here as well. Very interesting position here.
Mark needs to address his hole as well.
I don't know if he knows about it yet. I think he's got to suspect it, and yeah, it looks like he's checking it right now. And we'll probably see a Vil come over and stonewall this here in a moment. Unless he just clicks those forward. The monk is out though. And one monk is enough to drive away these war wagons.
Monks are pretty obnoxious when you're going war wagons in low numbers.
Yeah, the range on the war wagon is only 4. So that is always painful to deal with. And it will get converted. So maybe just a switch into some monks here could be the answer. With some conquistadors trying to raid. Never know. No wall up yet over here. This Phil's still alive.
I mean, if Mark had Fletching and Bodkin, he has 14 total war wagons. Those should be able to take on the monks for sure.
Yeah, I think this healing is helping out a ton over here as well. And this one converted unit might actually outlast 3 war wagons because that monk is healing. Which is
Yeah,
always a nice tactic.
monks OP, man.
Problem though is that low APM has been able to maintain the villager production so much better here, and he's going to even add a 4th town center. So he should be in a very ideal position to have a huge economic situation. As oh, those are instant conversions coming in.
Oof, this is pretty ugly, actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still like the mono war wagon play, but low APM, I mean, his elo has to shine somewhere. Perhaps we're going to see it in this game as things get messy.
5 converted war wagons. There's only 9 on the field for the opposite side. It's a tough one for sure. I think everything's leading towards a potential win here for low APM. Though he's on 4 town centers. He's up by what 13 villagers, and he's getting some good eco build up here. Sanctity coming in. Monks have already worked so far. See what he can do here. 3rd town center added in a very awkward position here though for Mark, so it's gonna be difficult for him to continue to mass units with monks in the field converting everything. So let's have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think it was a big mistake for him to never get Fletching or Bodkin. I mean, that would have helped so much versus the monks. And
Yep.
in the end, it was just literally 3 monks that repelled everything.
Yeah, definitely not ideal, that is for sure. And this is still open over here. This was never walled up, so Mark is buying some resources, deletes some walls, in fact, to drop another castle over here. Does have some nice castles coming up to defend him here, but this is going to be not so easy to defend with those 4 monks coming forward. I think he's just going to convert more units here without question.
Yeah, like 4 wagons in numbers of 3 or 4 with no ranged upgrades just get converted so easily. This is really painful to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got more war wagons than his opponent right now over here on the map,
Yeah, he
so
can possibly deny this castle as well. That would kind of be GG.
I don't think he's got enough to deny it. He's fighting the war wagons, more conversions coming in. I mean, realistically, these conversions are doing everything he needs, as he'll click the Imperial Age behind this. I mean, these are some of the most tanky unit conversions you can get. So, war wagons are just super expensive. Imp behind this for Mark as well, though, so he will get there himself.
Yep, I mean about 15, closer to 20 vills behind. I mean, Mark still has a chance here. I don't know, man. There's only 5 war wagons and no relevant blacksmith upgrades, no military buildings besides his castles. Yeah, I have a hard time seeing Mark taking this, as he's not even continuing to queue more military. He seems to be
Just can't
confused about
afford
what to
it.
go for.
Just can't afford
Yeah.
it. He got too many on food to go war wagons. War wagons are expensive, and we're gonna see the Halb switch come in here, which makes sense. But again, you know, going up against someone who's going into conquistadors from what you've seen, and then just monks.
I don't think he's going conquistadors. I mean, Spanish are so flexible here. Halb, I mean, you'll want to go Halb eventually, but it's unclear what low APM is going to open.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it could just be more monks, and he would be fine, to be honest. from what we've seen militarily thus far, and actually it will be ranges. That was the first barracks actually, so it will. He is researching supplies
Yeah,
and
you got the
squires coming
pike
in.
upgrade.
Supplies coming in as well here, and we'll see archery ranges, botkin arrow finally being researched for Mark. Behind this, it is chemistry and handcart instantly, so looking to go for some siege.
I mean, bombard cannon is definitely going to be a crucial unit no matter what. Besides that, I don't see him gearing up for any other military production. Supremacy?
I
Floating
mean,
2K food, Hussar has to occur to you when you're in that situation.
yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, Imp is here for both. Trebs are going to be out faster here for low APM as the conscription was opted for first here. Chemistry will finish here shortly as well. Block printing's coming in. Those monks are looking to just defend, and I don't even see any military production here for either, except for some halbs now coming out for Mark Landers, so no repairs in this castle either. No upgrades coming in for either player's HP on the castle.
I mean, Mark is kind of successfully stalling out a bit here, though. When you're behind, the longer you can delay the crushing, the better.
Hmm.
Um, and neither player is really gearing up for especially heavy military. This is a bit strange, especially from low APM with all the food he's floating.
He's got no reason to tech into anything right now, I think. This problem. He's got war wagons and monks, and he's pushing with trebs, so until he sees something he has to worry about, I guess he's just comfortable to sit here with his current position. Monk's going to try
Yeah,
for
I
some
mean,
more conversions. We'll get them.
as a Spanish nomad player myself, I like to just build a ton of every military building and get all the upgrades because eventually you end up teching into and producing everything. It's strange to see him with literally no blacksmith upgrades besides fletching.
Yeah, I agree. And we are going to see another castle go down here before the military can respond.
Monk, Bombard Cannon, Treb. This is incredibly bizarre. Low APM might be throwing here. Is he going like for some sort of supremacy troll, I wonder?
Could have got supremacy already. Hasn't done it yet, so. I mean, against Halb and Skirm, it could be an option as another castle's getting trebbed. So he's just trebbing everything down castle-wise. He knows his opponent's going trash, and it's just gonna be Onager, Bombard Cannon, and
Onager,
Treb with some monks added in.
Onager does very well versus this trash army, but like a total lack of barracks, stables, and archery range units is one of the most bizarre post-imp comps I've ever seen.
Yep, we are gonna see the stables coming down though, so he is gonna opt in to that. I guess he's killing all the production buildings here, and Mark has been housed ever since those castles went down. So he's not really in a hurry here to produce much military. He has some conquistadors being produced as well now. And some monks are going to go for conversions on skirms. That's where low APM's at right now.
And low APM, I mean, he does have a huge Vil lead. I guess he's really feeling chill about this, I'll say.
I mean, he sees Skirm Halb, though, and he is going to attack into Light Cav here. Should be pretty happy with that. This Conk's just wasted, really. Mark, I don't see a way back at the moment with his trash units without siege, but he does have a bombard cannon now going forward.
Yeah, I mean, low APM, I feel like he could have ended this much more quickly. It's gonna, I mean, the population's actually close. Low APM's total lack of military is really weird.
I agree. It's extremely awkward. And we're going to see some trebs killing some skirms here. Bombard cannon does come forward, and he will try to snipe these here. Big onager shots coming in as well.
Surprised the Helps didn't just charge the onagers on spread formation or something there. I
Yeah,
guess all the APMs being spent microing against these trebs.
yep, here comes Supremacy. So, gonna add Supremacy in here. The onagers are coming forward, so are the Hussar.
Yep, and these Helps got a job to do here.
They're not gonna do it. They're gonna get the Hussar will get the kills, and the Hussar just being built up larger and larger behind this. Even if the onagers go down, I don't think that low APM is gonna be all that upset about the matter. As he's going into full Hussar, and if he spams Hussar back here into the eco, there's only one castle to defend, and it's kind of in an awkward position here. Some conversions will come in on some halberdier here. And hand cannons even being added behind this now.
Yep, hand cannons will seal the deal. I mean, this game, for a long time, has just been waiting for low APM to produce non-siege, non-monk units. He's got cavalry plus hand cannons. This should be GG.
Oh, and the Hussar get a big raid in on this town center that just went up and are going to continue to raid. The Halb are on their way. And the hand cannon's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. The skirmishers are going to be here.
Yep. I mean, but Mark's Vil count has just dropped precipitously. I think the Mark's going to probably drop down to double-digit population and call GG momentarily.
He's cleaned up the raid. He's pushing a castle here. Got 3 bombard cannons. He's got to protect them, though. There are 6 Hussar diving in. There's only 3 Halbs here at the moment.
And again, low APM has no military unit queue. He's just so chill about queuing military units.
He's going to Onager. He's happy with Onager Halb, or Onager Hussar. And he's going to snipe another one. And these skirms could all die here very quickly. Not the greatest of shots. This castle will go down here.
And the score lead's actually narrowing. Which kind of doesn't make sense to me given the population.
I think it's just KD at this point, to be honest.
KD's pretty even, though.
The Eco KD's not. I guess it's very strange, you're right.
Yeah, but no, Mark is actually repopping his Vils a bit. I don't know, he's been behind by 50 Vils for a very long time. This game is playing out quite unusually.
Yeah. Agreed. Mark gonna sell a bunch of wood to buy 100 stone. Going for another town center. He is all the way over here. Good use of the map here for both players to spread out across it. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this one ends. Low APM maybe had a really good shot to be able to push this earlier if he had some military and just didn't do so.
Yeah, no, Mark has good trash numbers. I don't know. He's been behind by like 50 Vils for so long. But he's somehow still pushing.
And just the military, I guess, not being here is really the only answer.
Yep. As the score, I mean, it was like over 2,000 score lead just a little bit ago. It's closer to 1,000 now.
We did have redemption come in, though. The bombard cannons
are
getting converted.
Oh boy. That is, double conversion on the bombard cannons. That's really devastating.
Yeah, and they all go down here then, -1. We're going to see Man-at-Arms being teched into here for our Spanish player. And honestly, the champion line could make very quick work of all the military that's on the map for Mark.
Yeah, but Mark can just like queue hand cannons. I don't know, this champion play. Another strange move by low APM.
I like it actually, though. I like it a lot. As long as he has the siege to push with this, which right now he's about to lose it, it looks like. So it's going to not be the greatest push. Some Hussar raids are coming in, though. In some damage. This castle up here is going to prevent this town center from being here for very long for Mark. And more Hussar raids to the north as Mark tries to expand. Castle being pushed here. More monks coming out though, so some conversions are going to be inbound shortly.
Yeah, I like Redemption is actually such a game changer here. As low APM is just sitting on huge resources here. I'm getting some really weird feelings from this guy. He called a couple early GGs, and now he's like taking the game at a relaxed pace. Something is really strange about the way this guy ends these games, I'll say.
Yeah, I definitely think it's been a little weird this time around for him, but he's still in this. We'll see what happens here. Champion is coming in. We're gonna see plate mail armor. So the champions will soon be out. One converted bombard cannon here. Not gonna get a kill, but did some damage there, of course. And the raids have done a lot to the eco over here. And it has been problematic, as they're just killing Vil after Vil here. Mark is in some trouble.
Yeah, Mark's been in trouble all game. It's strange how he's been able to push, but his build count is the lowest it's been in a long time.
And
That
the
said, low
raids
APM is
continue.
still yeah. Low APM is still low military though. It's like low APM is just waiting to put pedal to the metal. It seems. I mean, he's been floating massive resources for so long as he queues like 40 champions all at once. Finally,
Yeah, and he's gonna potentially deny his castle. Wait and see. Obviously, the military numbers are gonna massively increase here now. Castle will get up. Murder Holes was researched a while ago, so gonna need to have a Treb, and it is already out here. So he will try to take this down. But again, the Hussar raids have been huge. The villager count down below 50 now.
yeah, Mark's got to call it as soon as he looks at his population.
And this castle that was just built will not last for long. This castle's being pushed over here, but again, no eco behind this. His bank is running lower and lower, and a lot of his military already dead and dying here.
Mark is
GG
properly
comes
cooked
in.
here. 50 pop. Yeah.
A very interesting game. Very strange. Very strange.
Very strange, man. Honestly, low APM almost felt like he was teasing a bit there.
Potentially a little bit, yeah. Very strange. But on that note, though, we have some sad news, folks. That is all the games from the set. They did not they didn't continue past this point, and low APM withdrawals. So the admin win then will go for Max or Mark
Very
Landers.
strange. Isn't that his second admin win of the bracket?
It is Mark's, yes. First one was due to some severe scheduling conflicts with an opponent that wasn't so responsive. So the admin team ruled in favor of Mark Landers. And this one here is really just kind of out of our hands. Low APM, just withdrawals. And we end up with a 2-1 set then here for Mark to take home.
Slightly anticlimactic, but Mark, aka Max Power, I believe, played well and deserves it.
Yeah, I agree. Always unfortunate, of course, not what we want to see, but can't do anything for people who want to just drop out. So it is what it is, folks. And we will update the bracket uh, here. If you guys don't want to see any spoilers, it's your only warning to look elsewhere. But yeah, we're gonna update it in 3, 2, 1. Bracket on the screen. So Mark will advance here over low APM, 2-1, and he'll move on to face Geo. So we have 2 players outside of the top 20 coming into the semifinals to face off against each other here. Geo and Mark moving on here. So we are still waiting for Funny Liquid and Joe Harry to finish their set. There was some issue with game 4 with the player drop, and then there's a scheduling issue as long as that set had taken, I guess. So they will have to finish that set in the future. Likely not going to be able to do it until next weekend, unfortunately. So we're going to be a little delayed here. But That is all right. We're gonna make sure that they finish out and see who moves on here to face Diverbloss, and then ultimately see who makes it to the finals. Jabari, any closing thoughts?
I just want to thank you for hosting the tournament, Juicy. These are really like the pinnacle of mid elo play. You know, I dig watching and playing. I guess I got a little thrown out of it when I got eliminated early, but yeah, dude, I appreciate you for hosting the tournament.
Well, thank you, thank you. Yeah, crazy sets obviously to come, guys. We got two more best of fives, well, three more for this bracket. Finals being a best of seven, and then we also are still awaiting our final set to be played for the 1300 bracket, which will be a best of seven as well. So, if you guys haven't already, please do consider giving us a follow so you get the going live notifications. But that's gonna do it here for us today.